I'm Scott Hansen. I'm a professor at Southern Utah University, and this module of SolidWorks will include instruction on how to create two simple parts that will be used in an assembly where a flow analysis will be performed. So we'll start by left-clicking on the little white piece of paper at the upper left corner. We'll left-click on Part, and we'll left-click on OK. Then we'll move our cursor up and left-click on the Sketch tab if it hasn't already been selected. Left-click on the Sketch icon. Move our cursor to the front plane. When it becomes highlighted, left-click once. And then we'll right-click and left-click on the Display Grid. And we'll start with a line, and then we'll use the three-point arc to create a sketch that we're going to revolve. We're basically going to make a venturi. So we'll start by left-clicking on the line command, and we'll just draw a line similar to what is shown here. We'll left-click, right-click, select. Left-click on Smart Dimension. We'll drag that dimension down, and we'll enter a 5. And we'll left-click on the green check mark. Then we'll move up here to the center point arc command. We'll drop the arrow down underneath and left-click on three-point arc. And we'll move our cursor to the first endpoint. Left-click one time. We'll move our cursor to the opposite endpoint of the line. Left-click again. And then we'll just place the arc somewhere kind of what is shown. We're going to dimension it, so it won't really matter. We'll left-click, right-click, select. And we'll left-click on Smart Dimension, left-click on the arc, and we can just make that a 5. And then we'll left-click on the green check mark. Now we need to create a revolve line for this venturi, so we're going to left-click on the line command, and we'll move our cursor just down here anywhere and just create a line. We'll left-click, right-click, select. Left-click on Smart Dimension. We'll left-click on the line. Left-click on the bottom line that makes up the venturi. And we'll enter a 1 here. And the reason we're going to do that is we want to form a 2-inch opening on the venturi. And we'll need to remember what the dimension of this is for when we have to make what are known as caps or lids. And that'll be coming up here very quickly. So we need to remember that we need a 2-inch diameter cap or lid. So we're going to dimension the revolve line to be 1 inch from the outside edge of the venturi. And then we'll right click on the green check mark. Then we'll right click, left click on Exit Sketch, left click on the Features tab, left click on Revolve Base. The axis of revolution box is highlighted, so I'm going to left click on the axis. Then we'll move the cursor down, take the check out of thin feature, we'll left click in the selected contours, and then it doesn't hurt to go back and left click on the axis again. And it hasn't given us a preview, but it should still be good to go, so I'm going to left click on the green check mark. And we have a venturi, and you can see the sketch that was used to create this venturi. I'm going to left click out here in the workspace. I'm going to push my mouse wheel down, and you can see that we have this narrowing venturi similar to what you would find in a carburetor that was found on most automobiles years ago. So we're going to save this, and this will be VENT Vent 1, and we'll leave that open, and then we'll go in and create a lid. So we'll left click on the little white piece of paper, left click on Part, left click on OK. I'm going to left click on the Sketch tab, left click on Sketch. I'm going to move the cursor to the front plane. When it comes highlighted, left click once. I'm going to right click, left click on Display Grid. And we'll just left click on the circle command, move the cursor to the center of the screen, left click, drag it out. Remember, we need a 2-inch diameter circle, which is going to become a cap. And we'll right click, select, left click on Smart Dimension, and this circle magically grew to 3, so we'll enter a 2. Hit the green check mark. I'll scroll it in just a little. I'm going to right click, left click on Exit Sketch. I'm going to left click on the Features tab, left click on Extrude. We'll go with just the 0.1, and we'll left click on the green check mark. And then we'll save this as lid 1, and we'll left click on Save. Now we will take and import these into an assembly. So we'll left click on the white piece of paper. This time we're going to use the assembly area to put this part together, so we'll left click on the assembly icon, we'll left click on OK. I left both the parts open for a reason. Here is vent 1. I'm just going to left click and drag out into the workspace and let off the left mouse button and then left click one time, and it will place one venturi there. We'll left click on the Insert Components command, and this time we need 2 lids. So I'm going to left click on the lid command out here, took to the cursor, so I click one time, then I got to do that same operation again. So I'm going to Insert Components, left click on the lid and drag it out, click, then we'll scroll it out just a little. Now we're ready to create an assembly. So I'm going to left click on the Mate command. I'm going to move the cursor over just one single edge of one of the lids. I don't want both edges, I just want to use the single edge. So I'm going to left click on that single edge, and then I'm going to left click on the edge of the venturi. Left click one time, and SolidWorks should mate those up nicely. Left click on the green check mark twice. I'm going to left click on Mate again, move the cursor over the other edge of the other lid, left click once, move the cursor over the edge of the venturi, left click again, and we'll left click twice on the green check mark, and then I'm going to save this. I'll save as assembly 4, and then I'm going to hit the save icon. And that concludes this module of creating a venturi for use in an assembly. In the next module, we will use this to perform a flow analysis.